Good evening, beautiful awakened beings of the You Create the Dream page, and welcome to Awake in the Dream. This is our fortnightly call. It's an opportunity to ask me anything at all. Let me just get some pop-ups. So it's an opportunity to ask me anything at all. It's also an opportunity where I tap into what I feel the collective needs to hear right now, and I share that too. So do say hi as you come on. Let me know that you're here, because as usual, I would love to acknowledge your beautiful, beautiful presence. Excuse me. Okay. Excuse me. Alrighty. Do say hi as you come on. So tonight, hello, beautiful Libby. How are you? How are you today? I hope you had a fabulous weekend. So Libby was with us at our Divine Goddess retreat, and oh my goodness, it was absolutely amazing. So for all of us, it was just such a beautiful, beautiful retreat. Our hearts are full. So Libby, I hope you are still feeling fabulous. Valerie, hello, hello, hello. Valerie, did you just see the video I put on the I Am Woman page? I'm assuming I knew it was in response to that very short video that I just put up. Do let me know. I couldn't help myself. I was standing here getting ready for Awake in the Dream, and the thought came to mind as I was thinking about the goddess retreat, so I couldn't help myself with that one. Great weekend, lots of laughs, still laughing. It was absolutely amazing. Myself too, I'm still laughing. And it's amazing, we did so much and spoke about so much that there's constantly memories reappearing. Hey, beautiful Stephanie, how are you? So lovely to see you. Hello, beautiful. I laughed so hard watching you live on the I Am Woman. I couldn't help myself, Valerie. I couldn't help myself, and yeah, there'll be more to come, no doubt. So with our Awake in the Dream call, it's an opportunity to ask me anything at all. If there's anything that I can assist you with, any sort of spiritual guidance that you might be looking for, that is what this call is about. And it's also an opportunity for me to share what it is I feel that the collective needs to hear right now. And interestingly, often it's inspired by other people, but this morning, it was actually, I think tonight's call was inspired by something that I personally felt and experienced this morning. And that is the, Olivia, I've just seen it. Couldn't help myself. I couldn't help myself, ladies. So for those that don't know, we just had so much fun at the Divine Goddess retreat, and I have actually just done a short video on our I Am Woman page. Yeah, reminding people of some fun that we had. Anyway, back to this moment and the Awake in the Dream call. What I'm being drawn to speak about tonight is the power of silence, but specifically being silent in the silence. Okay, and what I mean by that, it's not so much about giving ourselves quiet time and being in a quiet space, which is so good for all of us, right? But it's about quietening the mind and the body as well. So being silent in the silence. We all know that it's lovely to, spend time in nature, to go out into nature, to give ourselves some downtime, which might be, curling up on the lounge with a blankie, or, having a line in bed. But there's no point doing that if the noise of your mind is self-defeating, limiting, negative, toxic. Right? That's not self-care. True self-care is being aware of this, because honestly and truly, it doesn't matter. You could take the time out, you could do the massages, you could do all those beautiful things. But if the thoughts that you are carrying with you are negative and toxic, then nothing else that you're doing is actually truly helping you. So I want to talk about mastering the mind, right? The silence, slowing down the noise of the mind so as to recognize what needs to be healed, so as to allow things to come up and out, so as to master the mind enough to find that peace that you so desire, right? So the thing that inspired me to talk about this today was actually my own desire for silence the past couple of days. And it's something that I've been really, hello, beautiful Mariana, how are you, sweetheart? it's been my own desire for that. And this morning I woke very early. I wake very early every day, but I woke very early. And today I just simply didn't want to talk. Now, obviously, I have clients scheduled, so I needed to give myself, honor that in me, and give myself that downtime, that quiet time before my first client. So I woke up very early, and poor Martin, my husband's here at the moment, and poor Martin, in sign language, I said, not talking. No, that's right, I'm not talking till we have coffee. And then, so we scheduled a later coffee just so I could actually just be. I wanted to be in the moment. I wanted to make, my mornings not about the busyness and the doing, but by simply being. So I honored that. And I want to break this down a little bit for you and explain to you exactly what I did and how I did it. Because I mean, honestly and truly, obviously I see clients, I have my coaching clients, I have my CTC clients, I run online programs. And sometimes, because I'm just talking so much, and that can often irritate the throat, that the downtime, the silence is an absolute breath of fresh air for me. I really love the fact that I just don't need to say anything, right? So our modern world is a very busy world, right? Our busy lives are full of noise. There are so many sounds around us. There's a lack of quiet. Now, I'm blessed enough to live in the country. It doesn't mean there are no sounds. But for those in the city, there's a lot of people that are traveling on public transport. There's constant noise to and from your busy workspace, right? So with the busyness of life comes a lot of noise, a lot of constant interruptions and distractions, and they're constantly pulling you in every possible direction. And that has, I mean, we know it impacts our well-being, right? But it's also been scientifically proven to lead to a lot of distress within the body. When you think about it, our ears, they never go to sleep. We're constantly taking in the noise of our surrounds, right? And that is transmitting a frequency to our brain via electrical signals. And if those sounds are at all harsh, then we're not really getting the rest that we need. If those sounds are harsh, they're activating stress responses or stress signals in the amygdala, which keeps us literally, on. And we're on in case there's a danger. We need to be aware. So that, of course, triggers cortisol, right? The stress hormone. That increases our blood pressure, which affects our heart, because everything is connected to everything else, right? And the list goes on and on. So constant noise leads to sleep deprivation, right? It leads to anxiety. It leads to depression, fatigue, even cognitive impairment, especially in children. The incessant sounds that surround us, the incessant sounds of the modern world, right, make people unhappy and often depressed. But we can find silence in the noise. Silence, nature, are coming back into quiet and balance. It has so many benefits for all of us, and it's something that most of us actually crave but don't make enough time for. Finding moments of silence, stillness, it greatly improves our health and our spiritual growth. So we all need to make silence more than just a rare treat. Too often people even go for walks with the earpods. Give yourself a break from the noise. And in giving yourself a break from the noise, you'll actually become more aware of the noise in your head. And often that's actually why people are trying to distract themselves with music and noise. But what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to be brave enough to be with you, in you, to be aware of what's coming up for you, to recognize it's coming up to come out, to see what it is that you need to see, to learn what it is you need to learn, and to simply let it up and out. We need to stop feeling that we need to be constantly plugged in. And by that, I mean not only listening to things, sounds and things, but our social media and all of that stuff. We need to give ourselves or gift ourselves space in a quiet environment, but to also learn, to be brave enough to listen to this, to recognize what we've been carrying that is unhealed, to let it go, and to allow our downloads and our creative essence to come through. And I promise you, when you do that, the benefits far, far exceed any of the effort. Taking a break from the external noise and the internal chatter, instead, and choosing instead to live in silence and solitude, it can be uncomfortable. And I'm sure we all know people that don't cope well with silence. But the more you look at it, the more you start to realize that the only reason they want the noise and the busyness around them is because they're too afraid to look at the stories, the programs, the demons that they've been, renting their headspace to. The only way to be free of it is to go in and to allow yourself to walk through it. So often what happens once you're free of the distractions of the internal negative thoughts. Once you're free of the distraction. Okay, once you're free of the distractions, I'm getting a couple of cross wires here. Once you're free of the distractions, and by that I mean the noise. Once you're free of the noise, often the negative thoughts get louder so as to reveal themselves. And they can feel quite consuming. It can feel quite difficult to be aware of them. And I know why I'm getting my crosswise here. I'm going to tell you a story. When I first moved to town, I left Sydney, I moved into the country, and I moved in with Mum for a while whilst I looked for property. And I'd be working, I'd be at the dining table doing some work, and Mum would say to me, I'm just going to have a little sleep, okay? And I'd see her set herself up nicely on the lounge, pop the television on, and then she would go so far as to cover her head with the blanket. TV's on, her head's covered, and I would look at it thinking it was all very strange, right? I'd give it a few minutes and then I'd get up to turn the television off because she did say she was going to go to sleep. So I'd turn the television off and she'd bring this blanket down and she'd say to me, I'm trying to go to sleep. And I said, well, that's why I turned the television off. And she'd say to me, I can't sleep unless there's a noise distracting me. Now, a lot of people do that. Hi, beautiful Lily, how are you? A lot of people do that. A lot of people need constant noise and distractions around them because they're too afraid to even become aware of the noise or pay attention to or listen to the stuff that's going on in their mind, because they actually don't realize that they have the power to heal it, that they have the power to change it, that they have the power to set themselves free. So instead they feel that if there's no noise, I have to watch this and listen to this, and I don't want to do that, so I'll stick with the noise. But you always have a choice. What you do with every thought that arises within you is for you to see and to make a choice as to what you do with it. Do you choose to look at it? Do you choose to feed it, fuel it, make it bigger and shove it back in? Or do you choose to see it for what it is? Do you choose to question it? And do you choose to simply let it go and recognize that you are more than the thoughts, that you are more than the stories? So we always, always have a choice. So for each and every one of you, I want you to remember that you have a choice, that in each and every moment you truly can set yourself free. So learn to question everything. And for those who've done my programs in the past, you know, I'm always saying, question everything. Question everything that arises within you. Question everything that appears in your world. Even question me. Question. Because in questioning, we actually come back to the awakening of our own intuition. So you, in each and every moment, get to see it, get to question it, get to see it for the truth that it is, not the story that you've applied to it in the past, but for the truth that it is. And when you see it for the truth that it is, then you make a choice, an empowered choice. And that empowered choice should be to learn and grow from the experience, from the thought, to preserve the learnings and to simply let the rest go. Hello, beautiful Sharon, how are you? So in each and every moment, you do have a choice. What needs to be healed will reveal itself. The noise and the mental chatter that comes up for you in your mind, what it is that you try to avoid, is just coming up because it's letting you know that it's still there and it needs to be healed. So for myself personally, I've obviously done a whole lot of work. I love my mind. I wasn't always the person that loved my mind. My mind was full of a whole lot of BS and stories, 25, 30 odd years ago, 30 years ago. But I have done the work. I love my mind. So for me this morning, my desire for silence, and for ladies that have just joined, we're talking about being silent in the silence and the power of that. So for myself this morning, it was a desire for silence and solitude. It was a desire for me just to be with me, to go within, not to think about anything outside me, but just to simply be. Okay, to give me and my physical voice a break, because I have been doing a lot of talking for months now, and I'm moving into, we have the Power of You, a Master Your Power tomorrow night, Wednesday night, and the Power of You, and a whole lot of things. I have a very busy couple of months, as well as CTC training. So I chose to give myself, and I will do that regularly over the next few weeks, but I chose to give myself, with clear intention, stillness and silence whilst I was still doing what I needed to do this morning and preparing. I'm always very present, but I was more present. I was so much more present that I was so focused on my breathing, and that what I chose was to visualize myself breathing in blue, because if my focus and intention this morning was on this area and this throat chakra, your throat chakra is blue, what I did was I visualized blue. I was aware of every breath, and I allowed the blue to fill this entire area. I could feel it. I could feel the nurturing. I was grateful for every breath. There was nothing that existed other than me in the present moment, my breath, my gratefulness for the breath. And I did that whilst I continued doing my morning tasks, being completely present and being in gratitude. And let me tell you, it made me feel so amazing. So I chose to share that with you tonight. How often are you present in the doing? Are you being in the doing? How often do you, because I know it's difficult finding time, right? Finding time to get out there and, give yourself, moments in nature, or a beautiful walk in nature without earpods, without an audiobook, without whatever, because we are very much into multitasking, right? I understand that, we often say it's too hard for us to do that. But you can do it. You can do it whilst you're washing dishes. You can do it whilst you're in the shower or doing your makeup. You can choose to make this very moment about presence, stillness, and silence. Silencing, quietening the mind. Quietening the mind and just being here. Doing this helps your health in several ways, including instantly, well, actually, I'm going to say instantly, within 2 minutes, scientifically proven. Within 2 minutes, taking 2 minutes just to be very present, being still, and just focusing on your breath has been proven in 2 minutes to lower your blood pressure. It improves concentration. It improves focus. It calms the racing thoughts in your mind. It reduces that constant stimuli, right, in the brain. It actually stimulates brain growth. It reduces cortisol, which is the stress hormone. It improves creativity. It gets rid of insomnia. It encourages mindfulness. Being still, focusing on your breath, being grateful for that breath, slowing down the racing mind. And if anything comes up, it's not about ignoring it, acknowledging it, questioning it, preserving the learnings, letting it go. But instead just being here and be grateful for the breath, be grateful for this moment. It changes everything. High blood pressure is known as a silent killer. A study in 2006 found that in just 2 minutes, you could change that. And here's the other thing. People will say, well, I'm going to put soothing music on. They tested soothing music up against silence. They tested soothing music followed by 2 minutes of silence. 2 minutes of silence far outweighed the soothing music. So in just 2 minutes of taking a moment, take 2 minutes for yourself, you can change your blood pressure. Because we know that when we reduce that kind of stress, we help our heart as well. Excuse me. Silence improves concentration. Hello, beautiful Nell. How are you? Silence, taking those moments of silence, it dramatically increases your concentration and focus. Because without that external stimulus and the noise that constantly goes on, your brain can better focus. A study was done in, I think it was 2021. They tested people that had speech, like just people speaking in the background, and they tested people with other noises in the background, and they also tested people in rooms of absolute silence. There was a whole lot less cognitive stress or cognitive load on the brain. So that, of course, then lowers stress, and with lowered stress, your body's able to function more better. You have clarity of mind, creativity and concentration improves. So I'm hoping this makes sense. And for those who are on the live, and even though if you watch the replay, I want you to tell me, how often do you give yourself time for silence, or still to be silent in the silence? To be silent in the silence. There are so many things that you can do. How often do you gift yourself that? I would love to know. While silence creates a space to bring up those unhealed issues and feelings that need to be released, it also brings the opportunity for deep healing and for freedom. Because with those things gone, freedom and peace are yours. If you're prepared to let them up and out, that is where you'll get your deep healing. If you're prepared to let them, if you're prepared to let them up and out, then you're a huge step closer to mastering your mind, calming the racing thoughts, creating a blissful and less stressful existence for yourself, and learning to truly live in peace. How often do you gift yourself that? How often do you gift yourself that instead of, because let me tell you what most people do. Most people will do, most people will plan holidays, and they'll count down the days to their holiday where they can take time out, where they can take time away from the busyness and the noise. But wherever you go, you take your mind with you. And sure, you might lay by a beautiful pool and read a book to distract yourself from the noise of your mind. But you're still taking that frequency, that vibration, that toxicity with you. And then you come back into the world the way it was before you left. Learning to be silent, or find times to be silent in the silence, is what's going to change your 24/7. And that is what I'm all about, changing your 24/7. Otherwise, you become the person that just visits. I don't want you to be a person that just visits moments of blissfulness, that visits moments of the way that you're meant to live your life. You are truly worthy and deserving of having it all. You are truly worthy and deserving of living a blissful and amazing life all the time. And for the women that joined the Divine Goddess Retreat, something that we said constantly, was something that we said constantly was, where this vibration that we're feeling now, we choose to bring into our 24/7, because we are women that can be anywhere we want, the way we want, live the life we want, how we want, all of that. And the more we know that, the more we embody that, and the more we carry that into our 24/7, the more that becomes our life. Don't be the person that can't wait for the weekend, that can't wait for the next trip because you need to escape your life. Build a life that you don't want to escape from. And when you build a life that you don't want to escape from, you get to enjoy all these other magnificent things as additional treats, as additional moments, but you are playing then for quality of life. You love every moment of your life, and that is what life is about. We're here to live the most amazing, amazing life. Hey Tim, hey Katerina, how are you? Been desiring to tackle more of my wounds, to expand more and free myself. It feels like using conscious silence, like this might be the catalyst. Look, it is divine. It is divine, and it's bliss. It's like, oh my goodness, it's just me and my breath. It's me and my breath. And this morning for me, I was focusing on breathing in blue for my throat, give my throat a rest, a break, to feed it. And then I would feel this beautiful light flowing through my entire body, one with all that is. Feeling immense gratitude. And in that space, anything that doesn't serve us simply comes up and out. But we have the opportunity to gift ourselves this all the time. And I'll give you some tips on how to do it, or when to do it. But why not wake up a few minutes early? Even 5 minutes is better than nothing. Wake up a few minutes early and do this. It's so, so, so simple. Now let's make so much sense. Valerie often likes silence over music playing in the background while doing something. I like silence while staring at nature, beauty, taking a bath or a shower. Beautiful, beautiful. We need to stop wishing it away. Absolutely. We need to stop wishing our lives away. We're playing for quality of life. We get to make this moment matter. I don't want to live a life where I'm waiting for that moment that I think I'm going to create in the future, because that moment will matter when this moment matters more than any other moments, because it's in this moment that I create the next moment, and that is what creates my amazing future. That is what creates the quality of life that I desire. So we all get to create the life that we desire. Each and every one of us are worthy and deserving of it. And the more we understand energy, the more we understand how powerful we are, the more we get to change our moments, and the more we get to make this life a life where we live our potential, where we love every moment, and we see the magic that exists in every moment. Hello, beautiful Gosha, how are you? So quietening the mind has so many benefits. It also stimulates brain growth. A study in 2013 found that 2 hours of silence, just 2 hours of silence, stimulates new cells in the hippocampus area. Okay, and that's the region of the brain. That's the region of the brain that's related to memory and emotion. So while noise can overstimulate us, silence can bring us back to ourselves. And when you come back to yourself, you realize that you are source is you are the universe is you realize that you are connected to everything, that there is no separation, and that you realize you can live a magical existence. When we're constantly surrounded by noise, we're stimulating cortisol, and we know that the more stress the body is in, the more dis-ease the body is in, the greater the chance of disease in the body. But here's a beautiful thing. We can be in a noisy environment and master the art of being silent in the silence, no matter how noisy the space is. You can block it. You can be there, but not of there, so to speak. You can be there, and you can instead be in your bubble, focus on your breath, come within, and just be. Master your mind, master your energy, master your power. And then it doesn't matter what is going on around you. But you can put yourself in a position where you are not influenced or affected by it. I want to go for a ride by myself on my horse. That's my time out. Beautiful, Livy, beautiful. And we can bring that same feeling into our 24/7. I think this is a big point I want to be making. I want you to practice these beautiful moments enough to not come back from those moments, to not get back to being and doing life the way you were being and doing life before that moment, but to choose to make a conscious choice to carry that moment forth with you. So I'd like us all to make that commitment. I'd like us all to make that commitment That when we have these amazing feelings, that we will anchor them so deeply into our memory, into our heart, into every cell of our being, that we choose to carry that feeling forth with us. That we no longer become people that visit and return as an old self in an old world. That you have these moments, that you carry these moments forth with you, that you choose, you make a conscious decision to be that person and to feel that way and to live that way 24/7. I want you to think about a glass of muddy water. Now, if we let that muddy water, that glass of muddy water, I've just dunked it in the river, and if I left it to sit, if I just left it there to sit long enough, free of distractions, no interruptions, no picking it up, looking at it, no shaking it, but if I just left it there, then eventually all of the sediment, all of the mud, all the dirt will settle on the bottom. If we give ourselves enough silence, enough moments of silence, and if we clear the muddiness, we can be free. We can be free of those old limiting beliefs, those old negative emotions, the old muddiness that used to cause us so much grief. And what you have is clear water, right? Clarity of mind, clarity to see better, clarity to know better. Isn't it worth it if we know that we're left with clarity? Because when we're in a space of clarity, when there's no more noise, that's when the downloads come through. And the downloads come with absolute clarity. The creative inspiration comes with absolute clarity. With a clear mind and peace in our heart, we naturally sleep better. Insomnia becomes a thing of the past. We feel a whole lot more blissful. There are so many benefits to mastering our mind. And it's just a choice. It all starts with a choice, just like everything does. It all starts with a choice. So how about for making a commitment, right? I'm going to give you some ways that you can actually find moments of silence. Make a commitment that when you're driving, when you're in your vehicle, that it's noise-free. It's a noise-free zone. That it's you and your thoughts. Now, if any thoughts come up that are quite negative, you can simply do what? You can let them up and out. You can question them. You can recognize that it's not who you are anymore, that you're not those stories. You can let them go. And instead come back to focusing on your breath and breathe in light, breathe in peace, because no matter how dark a room is, you turn on one light, there's no more dark, correct? So maybe you can do that in your car. Reduce the background noise wherever you are. Stop the habit of needing to pop earbuds in all the time and when you go for walks and all those sorts of things. Start your day before the rest of the family. I know for young mothers, it's difficult, right? You wake up early and it's go, go, go with kids, getting them ready for school and doing all those sorts of things. But what if you chose to wake up 15 minutes before everybody else? Oh, I have an automatic update that's starting to do something. We don't want that. So what if you chose instead to wake up just 15 minutes before everybody else? Make a commitment to do that for yourself and see the difference in your days. You wake up 15 minutes early. You focus on being silent in the silence. You continue that whilst you get up, have a shower, moisturize, do your makeup, do whatever it is that you do in the morning. And then you get on with your day and you carry forth that feeling with you. Gift yourself that. It will change everything in your day and also that for your family. And start with small increments. You only need to do 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. That's it, a day. Start with small increments. I would love to go on a silent retreat for a month. I've done 7 days. Super easy for me. But, and I know a lot of people, I hear stories about people that are trying to dive out of their skin. And I've actually ran a course in Sydney. It was actually a CTC training in Sydney. And there was another group doing a silent retreat there for a week. And oh my goodness, I could see their pain and suffering. And I could see they would all hang out. They would bring their chairs and hang out alongside the windows into my training room just so they could have some noise and feel like they were interacting. It was a really interesting thing to watch because a lot of people can't deal with this. I'm asking you to make a conscious choice, a conscious choice to choose to be more, which means that any stories I've held on to in the past, any noise I've been carrying from the past, I'm now allowing it all to come up and out. Anything that is not in alignment with the greatest version of myself, anything that is not in alignment with my path and my purpose, I'm allowing it to come up and out because I am not my old self. My old self is going to continue to create the same predictable future that I've been creating in the past. So you make a choice to let go of that. You choose to let go of that so that you are different, because it's going to take you being different to create a different tomorrow. And it all happens in this very moment. It's what you do in this moment that creates the next moment, and that is what creates tomorrow. So I'm hoping that I've left you with something to think about. I'm going to end our call in a moment because I have an 8 o'clock coaching call. And I like to make myself a fresh cup of tea for that. But let me see, questions. Nell, yes, maybe you're in next one. I'll be there. Beautiful. There, look, I honor each and every one of you. I honestly do. I honor you for being the ones who are prepared to do the work this time round, because it's the changes in you that change our world. So thank you. Thank you for choosing to be you. Thank you for choosing to shine bright. Much love to you all. I wish for you an amazing couple of weeks, and I will look forward to seeing you at our next Awake in the Dream call. Good night, everybody. Valerie, it's an absolutely beautiful reminder to do it more often. Yeah. Peacefulness and bliss. It's beautiful. Lily, thank you. Oh, exactly what I was trying to express to you earlier. Thank you. Oh, beautiful, Lily. Beautiful. Well, maybe what I did, my little bit of silence this morning, was for me, for you, for us. So thank you. Thank you, everybody. Good night.